Yeah, hello and welcome to another episode of HeatStream. Today I'm with Paola Polignano from FAI-FTC, a leading company for casted furnace materials. Paola, can you briefly introduce yourself and your company?
Hi, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here and thank you for the opportunity. I'm Paola Polignano. I'm CEO of FAI-FTC. FAI-FTC is a company based in the north of Italy. We have at the moment two sites of production, and we produce castings and fabricated components for the anything heat resistant. So we produce castings and components in heat resistant steel. So anytime you have a furnace, a heat treatment furnace, the petrochemical industry or in other kind of industries where there is a lot of heat, that's where our production comes.
Mhm. Yeah, I think next year you're gonna be on the market for 50 years, right?
Exactly. Next year
Yeah,
is going to
wow.
be a great year for
Yeah.
FAI-FTC because as I started and with the description of this of our company, we have two sites of production for the moment because we are now just here outside the window. We are building a new foundry. So it's going to be completed in 2027 and sometimes stars of the universe aligns, and that's exactly when we are going to be 50. So we're going to be 50, and we're going to have a new foundry in our first production site. So we are super excited. We are in a very intense
Yeah.
period because when you have to uh, build a foundry, you have to think about so many stuff, and you have to take so many decisions, and in the same time you have to keep everything running and because we don't want to have only one new foundry, we also wanted to have a new organization. So we are also in the midst of a digital transformation of the company. So there is a lot of stuff happening here, and 2027 will be, we hope, the starting point of the next 50 years of the company.
Wow, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure it will be.
yeah,
You just mentioned like it's a perfect occasion in your new foundry for 50 years of FI FTC.
yeah.
Like, what's your plans with the new foundry? Maybe also regarding new market chances and product ranges.
Yes, of course. So it is a huge investment. It's the once in a lifetime kind of investment you can make. So um, we decided to go on this path, first of all, as I always say, because we didn't have any other choice. So our first foundry, and it was founded 50 years ago, it's now too old, obsolete, and too small for our needs. So we decided to build a new one. It's going to be almost double in dimension. And most of all, it's going to have a complete up-to-date new line of production. This new line is going to have a lot of automation. It's going to be mostly completely automated, and this is a big step further for us because, of course, we already have an automated line in our first foundry, but it was made in the 80s, so it's very old. So first of all, the capacity is going to be almost 10 times what we have now. We are going to produce mo- most of our production in the new automated line. So this is going to give us a lot of efficiency and also flexibility and also a bigger capacity. So regarding our production, it's going to be the same, but it's going to be made in a completely different way. But if we want to talk as of new products, you know that we are highly specialized in alloys. So one of our main characteristics is our technical knowledge of the alloys and of metallurgy. And what we would like to start is producing a new kind of alloy that is going to be especially resistant to corrosion at high temperature. But this is a very in the beginning project for now.
Hmm. Oh, but when you, it sounds like you're very well prepared for the future and the heat treatment and casting industry. I'm curious, with new foundry, is it going to be right next to the current one, or is it going to be at a
Yes.
different location?
No, it's exactly as I was saying, just outside
Uh,
my window. I used to see a lot of trees, and now I just have one that I
wow.
that I protected with my life. There was this big machine that was cutting all the trees, and I was just in front of this lonely tree that we have now, and I said, "No, you don't cut this. It's a symbol of rebirth for us because we are planning, of course, to build a new foundry, but also, uh, and you know that as you know FAI-FTC, you visited it, and you know that
Yes.
we absolutely believe that a good working environment is good for production. So this tree is going to be a symbol for a couple of years before we will have a new garden with a lot of trees. And I'm so happy to think about that future also in terms of well-being and sustainability in the work environment as well. So yes, the new foundry is going to be just outside my window, and it's going to change. It's going to change also the way we work, because of course, when you have to manage two different plants, you have to be in both of them. But when everybody will work here, I think there is going to be also a lot of synergies, a new working culture. The next 50 years are going to be also a new culture for our company, because in the first 50 years it was founded, it grew, it became bigger and bigger, but it's in some way always maintained a kind of vision of itself as a small company. Now we are not small no more. There are
Yes.
70, yes, there are 70 people that work for us. And if we don't consider all the people outside the company, but that for us are inside the company, that have been working with us for for a long time. So I always say we need to start to think about ourselves as a big company who is ready to compete in the future.
And I think you have a very good base for that. Like,
Mm,
you can really tell you keep evolving. You're not like just fine with staying where you are. You want to keep evolve and also check what are other people's doing, other partnerships you can create. We talked about before, like
yeah.
you, for example, also visited China a while ago and always
Yes,
check what can we do? How can we keep going forward?
exactly. Everybody says that only company that believe in the future, that invest in their future, that are not afraid of the future will survive. And I absolutely agree with this philosophy. Uh, it's not easy. Sometimes sometimes I think every entrepreneur, every company might have the temptation of saying, okay, let's do what we can do in a nice way. Let's stay in our comfort zone.
Mm.
But if you don't invest, you don't grow. If you don't grow, the only way out is you get smaller. And the smaller you get, the harder it is to compete. Europe, not only Italy, not only Germany, but Europe, we all know that is going through big transformation. So I think that everybody, everyone, every company, every single person has to do their part. And companies, they have to invest. They have to look for innovation. They have to invest in automation. They have to invest in new technologies, and they have to invest in digitalization, of course, and they have to invest in people. You know that we do believe in our people.
Yeah, that's so true. Like, especially in Germany, you can tell that sometimes it feels like people don't want to like evolve, like want to stay where they are, stay in their comfort zone. So I think it's very like strong when European companies say we go forward now, and
Yeah.
that's great. I'm curious, like, also like in Germany, lots of companies they decide, unfortunately, to close factories in Germany and go abroad. Was that ever an option for FAI-FTC to maybe build the foundry abroad?
No, no. First of all, because we like being Italian and living
Mm.
in Italy.
I can
Well,
understand.
yeah, I mean, that's no, but of course, that's not the main reason. I think that probably we lacked the courage to build something far away because you must admit that you need courage to move to a foreign country and maybe a very far away foreign country. So uh, they have all my admiration, really. But we didn't have that. I'm very happy about that because I think that there is still a future for companies in Europe. I firmly believe that Europe is now understanding that there is no other way than investing in companies, in manufacturing, in industries. And so I'm glad we're here in Italy. The idea also of moving our kind or our production abroad, not really, because it's a very, it's still quite almost craftsmanship. So you have to have a very skilled set of employees and workers in the foundry. So for instance, I mean, I do admire the United States. I think they are a great nation and they are in a good shape, but I would never want to move our production there because you
Mm.
have to have very skilled workers and you still
And
find
these
them
are
in
in Italy.
no, not only in Italy, in Germany, in France, in Spain, people who still give a lot of importance and a lot of meaning to manual jobs.
Uh, and but also like you had a very long history and you also like probably also want people who really like have this identity with the past of FI-FTC as well, right? It's also better to have the people locally in Italy who already have been working at FI-FTC for a long
Ah,
time,
okay.
know the
No,
company
no,
well. Uh,
no. I don't. Of course, we do rely on the people that have been working with us for 20, 30 years, and there are some of them. But it's more of a kind of working environment and working culture that we have here in the north of Italy, as well as you have in Germany, as well as they have in France, where it's it's common to put a lot of value in the work you do. in how you work. So yes, we do rely on our workers and employees that have been working with us for a long time, but we also have between 25 and 30% of our working force who are around 30-year-old. So that what they lack in experience, they have in knowledge, in new approaches to the work. So I think that, as we said, if you want to be let's say, if you want to be oriented to the future, you also have to invest in new people. And I always say that it's a good, you have to have a turnaround of people in the companies, because uh, the people that go out of the company, they bring new energies to other companies, and the people that are new and come in the company, they have new energies. Of course, not too many every year, but it's a good change. You
Yeah.
need change. You need change. You need the new points of view.
Yeah, it's always a good mix between experience and new energy coming inside.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, like we also gonna see you like in 2 weeks at the Härtereipraxis, the heat treatment conference. Yeah.
Yes, not me, unfortunately. You're going to see
Oh.
my colleague,
Mm.
Michael, because I'm going to participate to, alas, another conference in the heat
Yeah.
treatment, but in France. So
Yeah.
we try to expand. So, but I'm very happy that FAI-FTC has been participating to the Kamp-Lintfort conference symposium every year, because it's a great opportunity to be updated on what you do around there in Germany,
Yeah.
and also to meet. Um there is this word that I don't usually use or like, networking, because it has a like a meaning that you go there to use people to build your net. It's not that. It's we go there
Mm.
to meet old friends, to meet new friends, to exchange ideas.
Hmm.
That's why you organize it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also looking very forward to it. It's
Yeah.
always very nice to yeah, meet lots of new companies from different areas, whether it's casting, or we also talked to Eurotherm before
Mm,
about control systems. Like it's always very interesting to go deeper in the specific areas of our heat treatment industry. And
exactly.
yeah, maybe Paula, some final words how you see generally the future of our industry, heat treatment or and casting, how you see the maybe next 10, 15 years, the European market and also
Are you
maybe
joking?
the
I wouldn't
worldwide.
be here. If I could see in 10 or 15 years, I would be probably leading the European change. I'm not so skilled. No, uh, yeah, let's set aside joking. No, it's really impossible. It's really 10, 15 years, it's really impossible to imagine. Of course, I think Europe is going through I think and I hope Europe is going through a deep transformation. We have to rethink our energy system, because if we want to electrify production and living, we have to rethink our energy system. For instance, now in Italy, it's not mm, a secret that we are thinking about having nuclear energy again. It's going to take a lot of time, of course. Probably your generation will be the one that's going to achieve it, but also our generation, we have to think of this new way of producing sustainable and clean energy. And of course, we are still going through the path of solar and wind and water energy sources. That's going to probably to be the first big transformation. We always probably try to focus in the shorter time about rebuilding our defense, but that's probably not going to be, well, it's not strategic, as instead rebuilding a new Europe who is still based on manufacturing. That's very important. On not closing companies, on not closing factories, but building new ones, better ones, like the one we are building. But there is no way that we are transforming Europe into a Disneyland for the rich people around the world. We are a great continent with great nations and great people. And you know me, I'm always optimistic.
Yeah, that's very good always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we have to work hard. Yeah, I
Mm,
think we have to work harder, believe in ourselves, but also put more effort.
mm.
Especially younger generation, probably not your case, but younger generation, they tend to sit too much. They have to
Yeah.
have our hunger. They have to
Mm,
be, yeah, we all need to be more hungry.
yeah, for sure.
Mm, mm,
Especially when you see where other people are and going right now. If we look to Asia,
exactly.
for example,
Yeah,
we have to work hard. Yeah.
yeah. We both traveled to China, and we both had the strong impression of how far ahead they are. So we
Yes.
just have to, as I always say, roll up your sleeve, work hard, and uh, go forward.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah. Yeah, I think this is very good final words for interview. Keep going forward.
yeah.
And yeah, Paola
Yeah.
Polignano, thank you so much for your time. It was very interesting
Thank
and
you,
also very
Julian.
interesting to yeah, also have someone from Italy. Usually it's the German companies sitting here. So
Yeah.
it's was very interesting. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Ciao.
thank you so much for watching and see you next time for HeatStream.